Hi, this video is writing a fantastic leaflet for the Paper 2 writing exam. This is for all exam boards. So here are the 6 text types for the writing exam. For Educast, you have to do 2 of them. For other exam boards, just 1. So yeah, we're looking at the leaflet in this video. And it's about a good attraction in the UK. So I've gone for Alton Towers, but obviously you can pick whatever you like. So the question is, write a leaflet aimed at persuading people to visit a local attraction, although obviously the examiner doesn't know where you live, so you could do anywhere in the UK. And it does say this in small writing underneath the question on the exam. Remember that this is the test of your writing skills. You may show where illustrations will be used in your leaflet, but you shouldn't spend time drawing the pictures. So that is there just to show you that at least one person in your exam room will probably start drawing pictures. Obviously do not do that. You don't need to fold your exam paper to look like a leaflet either. Warning, the leaflet might be called a guide in the exam. So just like a speech might be called a talk, the leaflet might be called a guide. So don't go in there thinking there's a new text type you don't know. It means a leaflet. A leaflet also should be written very similarly to a review and an article. So what's a leaflet? A leaflet is a document containing information or advertising, usually distributed for free. So if it was like a Monkey World, the leaflet is trying to persuade you to go to Monkey World. So whatever you pick today, you're trying to persuade the reader to go. Yeah, so if you pick Alton Towers, if you pick London Eye, whatever you pick, you're trying to persuade the reader to go. So 5 things you might find in a leaflet or more. The title, subheading, statistics, attractions, offers, persuasive language, or a map. And again, don't fold your answer booklet, don't draw pictures, and make sure you write at least 350 to 400 words. So pick an attraction. So I picked Alton Towers, but have a think. What would you do? In the leaflet and article questions, they absolutely love questions about local attractions or days out. So it might actually be good to have a think of one, spend 10 minutes before the exam actually Googling, do a bit of research. So I picked Alton Towers. My 3 things I've picked are the rides, I've picked the restaurants and the shops, and I've picked the actual towers. I don't know if you know, but Alton Towers are actually towers. They're my 3 things. So remember, don't put things in one big chunk. So 1 point per paragraph. Do not put lots of points in one big chunk. What I mean by a big chunk is that. So I don't want to talk about the rides, the restaurants, all in one bit. Make sure you use your paragraphs correctly. So example structure for all questions is you've got your intro and conclusion, which are 2 sentences, and then your 3 main points of 5 to 10 sentences. Here's the leaflet structure. So I've got a catchy heading, I've got my intro, I've got catchy subheadings, I've got my 3 main points, and then I've got my conclusion. So my plan would be Alton Towers is for intro and conclusion. So in my intro, I'm going to say what I'm going to talk about. In conclusion, what I have spoken about. And then my point 2, my paragraph 2 about the rides, 3 about food and drink, 4 about the towers. So again, that's what my structure would then turn into. So how do you start it? So a catchy title, think about the question, what the question's asking, and think of something interesting. So you could use dress. I'll talk about dress later in the video. So I came up with Alton Towers : where the magic never ends. I actually Googled it and that's actually what is on the real Alton Towers leaflet. But you could think of anything you like. So again, try to use alliteration or rhetorical question to do your title. If you're really struggling, you can't think of anything, just put the name of the place. Okay, again with subheadings, try to be catchy with your subheadings. So you could just have for your subheadings the rides, food and drink, and the towers. That would be fine. But those you want to push yourself, get higher grades, try and make them better. So instead of rides, I've put rollicking rides. Instead of food and drink, I've put roller coaster restaurant. And instead of the towers, I've used terrific towers. So I've basically tried to use alliteration, or at the very least half alliteration. So yeah, the examiner would really like that. So if we look how to do the intro then, rules for the intro, write no more than 2 sentences. In your first sentence, summarise the question, copy out some of the question will really help you. And in your second sentence, give a clear opinion or argument or choice. If you want to push yourself with your intro, maybe use dress or use a colon. Okay, so let's look at an example of an intro. So I've put, enjoy a fun-filled, fascinating day out at the best attraction for 2024. In this leaflet, you will find out why Alton Towers is an amazing place for all the family. Okay, so I've got the word attraction, which comes from the question. I've got the word leaflet, so it's always good to remind the examiner you know what text type you're doing. And then I've given my choice. Yeah, so my yellow is the question, my blue is my text type, and my green is what is my choice. I've chosen Alton Towers. Again, I've got some ambitious words here with fun-filled, fascinating, best, amazing, so at least some emotive words. Here's another example of a leaflet. intro. I've been asked to write a leaflet aimed at persuading people to visit an attraction. Let me get straight to the point. You need to book your tickets to the awesome Molten Towers today. So again, write a leaflet aimed at persuading people to visit a local attraction. That is literally what it says in the question. Then I've got, you need to book your tickets to the awesome Molten Towers. So I've used direct address. I've always given a command to get the reader really into it. And I've also put the phrase, let me get straight to the point, : Yeah, that would be really good because it shows the examiner straight away that I can use ambitious spag. And then I've got a bit of exciting adjectives with awesome as well. So if we look at the main paragraphs now, so 5 to 10 sentences, let's just do the one about the rides. So I've got rollicking rides. Firstly, the park has some unforgettable rides. Surely they need little introduction. It's the largest theme park in the UK, split across 10 themed areas of action and adventure. We are home to more than 40 rides and attractions with something to suit guests of all ages, sizes and levels of thrill seeking. The roller coasters are the stars of the show, each with record-breaking elements to thrill and delight those brave enough to ride. Oblivion includes an exhilarating 180-foot vertical drop into a dark tunnel of dry ice, with riders filling 4.5 Gs as they hurtle down. Plus, the views from the top are incredible before you drop. For speed seekers, the eye-pop and Rita catapults riders from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 2.5 seconds. The sheer exhilaration leaves you with no time to catch your breath as you're hurtled through a series of swooping turns and drops. You will never forget the fun. So we're looking at that paragraph a bit more detail. So impressing the examiner, I'm going to use these techniques. At school, you might have done the forest or a forest. I've taken out a few of them and I've changed it to dress. So so I've put this statistic. Again, this is a real statistic, so I Googled it. But on the day, you can either, before the exam, you could pick a place and do a few, you could revise a little bit, pick a few facts. Or just on the day, you can make up statistics. So I'm trying to prove how great these rides are. So, first of all, I've got some sentence starters. So, firstly, surely, plus, and then I've got a lot more. So, I've got a nice, easy topic sentence. I've got a rhetorical question in the light blue. I've got some statistics. It's the largest theme park in the UK. It's got 40 rides and so on. Lots of statistics there. I've got some ambitious adjectives with thrill-seeking, record-breaking, exhilarating, strong verb with swooping, and I've ended my paragraph with a bit of direct address and a short sentence. You will never forget the fun. Talking directly to the reader and using a short sentence for effect. Also with the second paragraph is roller coaster restaurant. What I've also done is I've made up a TripAdvisor quote. Actually, it wasn't made up. I actually did see it. But you could make up a TripAdvisor or a review and add that in there. Again, it backs up your point of how great the restaurant is. With all the text types, try to mix up your sentence length and punctuation. So you should have a mixture of shorter, medium length and longer sentences all the way through. A topic sentence is something my students sometimes struggle with. So remember, a topic sentence is the first sentence of the paragraph, almost identifying the paragraph's controlling idea, what's going to be going on in the rest of the paragraph. And you should have a topic sentence for the start of each of your main paragraphs at the very least. They should all really be less than a line. I know these look bigger than a line, but that's because I've made them bigger. Less than a line, and you shouldn't really be using connectives like because and however. Try to make your first sentence really, really clear. The rest of your paragraph be convoluted and really go for it, but your first sentence of your paragraph, make it nice and clear. So if we look at, remember my plan was the rides, food and drink in the towers. So I put, firstly, the park has some unforgettable rides. Secondly, you're in for a tasty treat at the roller coaster restaurant. Thirdly, we have the amazing tower. So really clear. I've shown the examiner what the rest of my paragraph is going to be about. Really clear, really succinct. And I think this would really impress the examiner. If you want to push yourself, try and use dress in your topic sentences. So for example, you could say for the restaurant one, instead of blah, 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 you could say, feeling hungry, you're in for a tasty treat at the roller coaster restaurant. So I've kept the second part, but just in my first sentence, I've done a rhetorical question, really trying to get the reader involved. So to recap for leaflets then, 300 to 400 words, 5 paragraphs, short, clear topic sentences, use dress, catchy title and catchy subheadings, use ambitious adjectives, and check your run-on sentences, a major thing, and other common errors, mainly homophones, so there, and there, and apostrophes. Brilliant. Hope that's been some of use to you, and good luck in the exams.